Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is July 3rd. We have our all-star rosters are here. They're released, and we've got our first major trade of the 2023 season. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. We've got a lot to do on this Monday episode. Welcome to July baseball. We are in July, 3 months down, 3 months to go, and I am excited. The All-Star game is just a week away. I'm super excited for that. We've got all that to go into and much more. We'll start with our series recap as usual, so let's dive on in. Leading us off this series recap, we've got Boston and Toronto, the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. And the Red Sox come up north with power. Justin Turner, Jared Duran, and Masataka Yoshida all launch home runs, while Paxton shoves for one of his strongest outings this year, going nearly 8 innings, only allowing 3 hits for the Sox to take the opener. They win it 5-0. Game 2, Happy Canada Day as the country comes together, and it starts with a leadoff Springer dinger. Devers would hit a 2-run shot for his 20th of the year to give Boston the lead, but it wouldn't last long as a bow bomb ties it up for the Blue Jays. In the 5th, Boston is able to take the lead with 3 runs in the inning, and later on, it's a 2-run shot by Matt Chapman. It makes it a 1-run game. Top of the 9th, Justin Turner, he homers to give Boston an insurance run that would actually be important, as in the bottom of the 9th, Vladdy hit a ball to Verdugo, which allowed Springer to score, but Bo wasn't able to join him as he was gunned down by Verdugo at the plate to end the ball game. Boston takes it another one. They win it 7-6. And in the final game, despite Brandon Belt hitting 2 home runs in the game, the Jays would find themselves tied late before Alex Verdugo crushes a solo shot in the 9th to give Boston the lead and eventually win, as the Blue Jays have yet to find an answer to Boston, who has beat them all 7 times they faced them this season. Boston comes to Toronto, they sweep them, they win it 5-4. Twins and Baltimore. The Twins run rampage as Joey Gallo, Max Kepler, and Byron Buxton all go deep for the Twins. Meanwhile, the Orioles can only get 1 run on an Adley Rutschman home run. As the Twins take the opener, they win it 8-1. Game 2, thanks to a great outing from Bailey Ober and Kyle Bradish, this game came down to only the 1 run scored, which was from another Joey Gallo home run. The Twins win another 1-0. And in the final game, it wouldn't have much scoring as the Twins would be up 1-0 for most of the game, but in the bottom of the 8th, things get away as Aaron Hicks singles and a bases loaded hit by pitch would have sent me into a frenzy. The O's get the dub, they avoid the sweep, they win it 2-1. We've got the Dodgers and the Royals in the first game. Mookie Betts has himself a night at Kauffman. He goes 4 for 4 with 2 walks and 2 home runs, 1 to lead off the game, as that would help the Dodgers take the first game. They win it 9-3. In game 2, the Royals would start the game by scoring 5 runs in the first, which would be enough as the Dodgers could only end up with 4 runs against the Royals pitchers. Kansas City, they even the series up. They win it 6-4. And in the final game, the rubber match, Royals are able to score 8 runs in 3 innings, and all of that without the long ball, as Brady Singer has a nice outing with 7 innings pitched. Garcia goes 4 for 4 at the dish, and the Royals surprisingly beat the Dodgers in the series. They win that game 9-1. White Sox and Oakland, the A's would lead for most of the game after scoring 4 runs in the second, followed by a home run from Carlos Perez in the 5th. The White Sox would score a few runs late, including Luis Robert Jr.'s 24th home run of the year, but it would be too late as Oakland takes the opener. They win it 7-4. In Game 2, Eloy would help get this started for the White Sox, his 11th home run of the year. The A's would score a run in 4 straight innings, including a go-ahead home run by Seth Brown, but the White Sox would score 3 runs in the 8th, and we would be tied and need some extras. After holding the Sox, the A's were able to walk it off on an error that was made by Elvis Andrus, allowing the walk-off run to score. Oakland takes another game. They win it 7-6. And in the final game, the White Sox score 5 runs in the 3rd and use that to stay on top of Oakland, who tried to mount a comeback, but a home run from Jake Burger ended those hopes, as Oakland had scored 4 runs in the last 2 innings, but would end up a run short thanks to the Jake Burger home run. The White Sox win it 8-7, but drop the series to Oakland. We've got the Battle of Texas and the Battle of the AL West. The Astros at the Rangers. They're going to play 4. And on Friday, we start with a leadoff blast from Jose Altuve for his 5th of the year. The Rangers would get it back after back-to-back home runs for the 2 first-time All-Star starters, Josh Jung and Jonah Heim, but that wouldn't stop the Astros as they got 3 runs in the 6th to take the lead and hold it. As the Astros take the first game, they win it 5-3. In the second game, Nathaniel Eovaldi has been incredible this year, and this game was no exception as he goes 7 innings and holds the Astros to only 2 hits. The only runs the Astros would get would be on a 2-run shot from Kyle Tucker in the 9th, but by that point, Texas already had a nice lead that they would hold on to and win the game to even the series at 1. They take it 5-2. Game 3 on Sunday, and through 7 innings, we'd be tied at 1, but in the 8th, Chas McCormick delivers a bases-clearing triple to put the Astros up 3. The Rangers would get some hope with Nathaniel Lau going deep to put them within 1, but Jose Altuve would go deep in the 9th to secure it for the Astros as Houston wins it 5-3. And now for Game 4 today on Monday, the game that just ended, and what a game that was. Houston starts with 3 home runs from Chas McCormick, Yanyer Diaz, and a grand slam from Kyle Tucker. Jose Abreu also goes yard for Houston as they'd be up 10 runs. For the Rangers, it starts with Leody Taveras, and that moves to Travis Jankowski, and then after a few runs, Adolis Garcia goes yard to tie the game up at 10. And after that, the Rangers took the lead on a sac fly. The Astros would then go on to score 2 runs on 2 doubles in the top of the 9th. Ryan Presley comes in, he gets the save. The Astros come to Arlington and they take 3 of 4 versus the Rangers. They win that last game 12-11. We go on to the Rays and the Mariners, and the Mariners would get an early jump by scoring 4 runs in the 2nd, including a 2-run shot from Tom Murphy. But thanks to home runs from Randy Arozarena and Josh Lowe, the Rays were able to tie up the game, and it would remain that way until the 8th, where the Rays decided to explode for 8 runs in the inning, all of which without the long ball. But don't worry, Jose Siri would go deep in the 9th for insurance, just in case the 8 runs wasn't enough. Tampa wins it 15-4. In Game 2, J.P. Crawford would take Glasnow deep as the Mariners would get a lead. A home run from Luke Raley would tie it back up, but then the Mariners would score 4 straight runs, including a 2-run double from Teoscar Hernandez, as that would end up winning and evening up the series. The Mariners take it 8-3. And in the final game, home runs aplenty in this one. Randy got things going with a solo shot, followed by Isaac Paredes. Eugenio Suarez would get one to cut the lead in half, and then both teams would score 4 runs each in the 3rd inning. Later on, Tom Murphy, he ties it up for Seattle with a solo shot. The Mariners would get their first lead in the 7th with a hit by pitch, and that would be the last run scored in the game. The Mariners win it and beat the Rays in the series. They take it 7-6. Diamondbacks and Angels. What a fun series this was. Shohei Ohtani hit an absolute piss missile that went 493 feet for his 30th home run of the year, as he becomes the first player to reach 30 home runs. But despite that, LA didn't have a great game. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits a grand slam in the 2nd, and that would have already been enough. The Diamondbacks take the opener. They win it 6-2. In Game 2, Ryan Nelson had a great game versus the Angels, as the only win he and the rest of the team gave up, the only run, was on an Anthony Rendon solo shot for his 2nd home run of the year. The Diamondbacks will score 3 runs on a single, triple, and error as they take the 2nd game 3-2. 2-1. And in the final game, Mike Trout, Mickey Moniak, and Shohei Ohtani all homer in the game. The Angels get to Gallen and the D-backs. They avoid the sweep with the win 5-2. The Nationals and the Phillies, and in the first game, it's very little scoring as the runs came in one inning, which was in the second inning. The Phillies got a run on a base hit from Alec Boehm, while Stone Garrett hit a 2-run home run, which would be the difference as the Nationals take the game. They win it 2-1. In Game 2, the Phillies scored 18 runs in 3 innings, starting with 6 runs in the third, adding 4 in the fourth, and then doubling it with 8 in the fifth. In those innings, Alec Boehm hit 2 home runs. Nicholas Castellanos, he joins him with 1, and Kyle Schwarber put the exclamation point on top of the exclamation point with a grand slam that turned the 11-run lead into a 15-run lead. The Phillies blow this one up even in the series. They win it 19-4. And in the rubber match, Nicholas Castellanos and JT Realmuto homer for the Phillies in the first to get their day started, but it wasn't long before the Nats answered, and they did it in a big way as Stone Garrett crushes a grand slam to put them in front, and that was followed a few innings later with a home run from Yaimer Candelario. The Nationals win it and take the series 5-4. The Marlins and the Braves opened the game with 5 runs in the first, including 2 2-run home runs from Matt Olson and Eddie Rosario. 2 home runs from Jesus Sanchez and Jorge Soler put the Marlins on the board, but the Braves answer with home runs from Austin Riley, Matt Olson with his second of the game, Sean Murphy, and Ronald Acuna Jr., who becomes the first player ever to have 20-plus home runs and 35-plus stolen bases before the All-Star break. The Braves win it. They finish their June 21-4 and are red hot. They win that game 16-4. In Game 2, as good as Yuri Perez has been, the Braves have been better, and they tee off him for 6 runs in the first, including back-to-back home runs from Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies to start the game. Meanwhile, 5 Brave pitchers blank the Marlins as the Braves win another. They take it 7-0. And in the final game, the Braves continue to play hot baseball as Orlando Arcia, Ozzie Albies, and Travis d'Arnaud all hit home runs in the game. The Braves continue to win. They sweep the Marlins 6-3. Giants and Mets, some back and forth in this one. The Mets would be leading, but Wilmer Flores would tie it up with a solo shot in the 5th. The lead wouldn't last long as the Mets would get it back and then add on with a solo shot from Tommy Pham to put the lead to 2. But in the top of the 8th, Patrick Bailey hit a 3-run home run for the Giants to take the lead away from the Mets, which resulted in a Giants come-from-behind win as they steal one from the Mets, take the opener 5-4. In Game 2, the Mets get a jump on the Giants with 3 solo shot home runs in the first inning from Francisco Alvarez, Brandon Nimmo, and Francisco Lindor. Verlander would go 7 innings without allowing an unearned run. The Mets even the series. They win it 4-1. And in the final game, Mark Canha and Pete Alonso both go deep in the game. The Mets needed to win as they have finally won a series for the first time in over a month as they beat the Giants 8-4. We've got the Yankees and the Cardinals. Friday's game was rained on, so the series starts on Saturday as a doubleheader. And in the first game, the Cardinals pour it on, starting with a 3-run home run from Paul Goldschmidt. Adding from there a 2-run shot from Nolan Gorman, among other runs. Yankees couldn't touch Jack Flaherty through 6 innings. They did get a couple of late runs, but the Cardinals take the first game, winning it 11-4. In the second game, the Yankees would never let the Cardinals get the lead in this game as they scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and didn't let them after that. The Cardinals lose that one. The Yankees get some insurance in the 9th. They seal the deal. They even the series up 6-2. And in the final game on Sunday, the rubber match, the Cardinals would have a 2-run lead before the Yankees scored a run, cutting the lead down to 1. But the Cardinals answer, and they answer big. Brandon Donovan hits a 2-run home run in the 7th to get the Cardinals lead back up to 3 as their bullpen finally gets a job done by holding the Yankees. The Redbirds win the game and the series against the Yankees. They win it 5-1. Guardians and Cubs. Justin Steele continues to turn heads in what could be his breakout season. Meanwhile, Christopher Morel clubs his 14th home run of the year, and Nick Madrigal, yeah, remember that name? Nick Madrigal, home run number 1 on the year for him. The Cubs win it 10-1. In Game 2, Ahmed Rosario gets a 2-run single for the Guardians, and then later they scored 4 runs in the 6th, while Tanner Beebe K'd 9 Cubs as the Guardians take it and even the series up 6-0. And in the final game, the rubber match, Guardians would have a 6-run lead halfway through the game with the help of an Andres Jimenez 2-run home run, but the Cubs would turn it on in the 9th by scoring 4 runs to total 6 runs in the second half of the game with a home run from Christopher Morel. As this game heads to extras, Josh Naylor hits a laser to center as that cashed in 2 runs. The Cubs couldn't even score 1. The Guardians take this series in extras. They get the win 8-6. The Brewers and the Pirates, and the Brewers get the jump by scoring 4 runs in the top of the 3rd, but the Pirates would get an answer in the bottom of the 4th with 3 runs to put them down 1. The Brewers would score 3 more runs and put the lead back to 4. The Pirates then started a comeback by scoring 5 runs in the last 3 innings. 3 runs were scored in the 9th, including the game-winning walk-off home run from Slam Tana, Carlos Santana with the walk-off shot, and quite the dance at the end before touching home plate. The Pirates still won late 8-7. In the second game, the Brewers would score 5 runs in the 2nd, including a 3-run shot from Christian Yelich, and in the 6th inning, they would add 4 more runs as the Brewers would be up 9-0. In the 6th, Pirates would finally get an answer with 2 runs, and then later the Pirates would score 6 runs in the 8th with the help of a Jack Sawinski home run. But for the Pirates, they come a run short. The Brewers even the series. They win it 11-8. Nick Gonzalez in Game 3 gets things started for the Pirates with a 2-run home run, but the Brew Crew answered immediately with William Contreras hitting a 3-run home run the very next half inning to put the Crew back on top, as the Brewers would be able to expand their lead and keep the Pirates at bay, winning the series and beating the Pirates 6-3. The Padres and the Reds. This was a fun series. Tyler Stevenson home run in the first game would give the Reds a late lead, but Matt Carpenter would help tie things up in the 9th and send it to extras. After the Padres put up 2 in the top of the 10th, Matt McClain hit a home run to tie the game up and continue in extras, where Spencer Steer would play hero as he crushed a 2-run walk-off home run to open the weekend up for the Reds. They come from behind, they take the opener and beat the Padres 7-5. In Game 2, the Padres came into this game with their hitting shoes on as Juan Soto goes yard, and Manny Machado, he gets not just 1 but 2 home runs in the game. Even a grand slam by Jonathan India wasn't enough for the Reds to do anything, as the Padres take an important step with a win 12-5. Game 3, the rubber match, a couple home runs would make this a game as Spencer Steer got things started with a 2-run shot, but the Padres answer with Ha-Seong Kim and Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting back-to-back solo shots to tie this game up. But in the bottom of the 8th, the Reds get their last laugh as Tyler Stevenson hits his 7th home run on the year. A 2-run shot that would get the Reds the win and the series against the Padres, who drop another one. They lose that one 4-3. Final series here, we got the Tigers and the Rockies. And the Rockies ride a 5-run at second and add on with Ezequiel Tovar a 3-run home run as they take the first game versus Detroit, winning it 8-5. In Game 2, jumping ahead, we are tied at 1 heading into extras as both teams had a bullpen day. The Tigers were able to score 3 runs on a Zach McKinstry 3-run shot for his 6th of the year, which would be what they would need to win the game and even the series up with the win 4-1. And in the final game, the rubber match, It starts with Javier Baez in grand style as he crushes a grand slam in the first to get things started. Kerry Carpenter would hit a 3-run home run a few innings later, followed by a solo shot from Jake Rogers. The Rockies were staying close, and after a Grichuk home run, they were only down 3. But then another Tigers home run, this one from Spencer Torkelson, a 2-run shot. And then for the cherry on top, Jake Marisnick joins Baez in hitting a grand slam in the 8th. For a total of 5 Tiger home runs, a solo shot, a 2-run shot, a 3-run shot, and 2 grand slams. The Tigers win the game. They take the series against the Rockies 14-9. So that will wrap up our series recap. Let's dive into our game of the week, or should I say games of the week, because I actually have 2 for you guys this weekend. Starting off with the Brewers and the Pirates on Friday. That was a fun one that started off the series there. In the top of the 3rd, Christian Yelich, he doubles to make it 1-0, and then William Contreras, he reaches on a fielder's choice. Ramel Tapia scores 2-0 Brewers. Ray Tellez, that's a single. That's a 3-0 lead. And then Willie Adames, a sac fly, makes it 4-0 Brewers. They score 4 in the 3rd. Bottom of the 4th, Andrew McCutcheon, home run number 10, makes it 4-1. Then Nick Gonzalez, he doubles to make it 4-3. We jump now to top of the 7th. Owen Miller, he gets a double that allows a run to score. Then Bryce Terang, he gets a double, makes it 7-3. Pirates down 4. Bottom of the 7th, McCutcheon, he singles in a run, making it 7-4. Then Jack Sawinski, he singles a run, making it 7-5. And down 2, we enter the bottom of the 9th, where Andrew McCutcheon, he doubles to make it 7-6. And then Carlos Santana, Slamtana, home run number 9, a walk-off 2-run shot. The Pirates win it. They were wearing their City Connects. It looks great. I love the uniforms. What a game that was. Pirates take it. That is your game of the week. One of your game of the weeks. The other one, we jump today, the Astros and the Rangers. The reason this episode is coming out late is because I wanted to do this game as well. I saw the series continue to Monday, and instead of just leaving it to talk about Friday, I decided to wait for the game to finish, and then add it into it. And that is why this episode is late. But even then, the Astros and Rangers, this game, what a game this was. The 4th game in the series, the only game that entered Monday. And it starts in the top of the 2nd. Chas McCormick, home run number 8, 1-0. Yanyer Diaz, home run number 8, 2-0. Kyle Tucker, grand slam, his 13th of the year, 6-0 Astros. Bottom of the 3rd, Leody Tavares, home run number 10 for the Rangers. That made it 6-2. Top of the 4th, Bregman, he singles in a run, 7-2, and then Jose Abreu, the 3-run shot, his 7th of the year, makes it 10-2 Houston. Bottom of the 4th, Travis Jankowski, his first home run on the year, 10-5, as Texas gets 3 there. Bottom of the 5th, Garcia singles one up the middle to make it 10-6. And then, Travis Jankowski, he singles in a run. And then a fielding error by Corey Julks allows another run to come in to score. Texas now down 2. Leody Tavares, he grounds out, but another run comes in to score. 10-9. Texas coming all the way back. And in the bottom of the 7th, Garcia, his 21st home run on the year, makes it 10-10. It's a brand new ball game. In the bottom of the 8th, Corey Seager, he gets a sac fly that allows Texas to take the lead. But in the top of the 9th, Jose Abreu, he doubles to tie up the ball game, and that follows with a Chas McCormick double as that run comes in to score for Houston. Presley gets the save. Houston gets the win. They take 3 of 4 against Texas. This game had it all. What a game this was. Those were your 2 games of the weekend/week, if you count today as Monday for the week. But you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's going to do that. Let's dive into the baseball news. And we'll start with Aroldis Chapman heading to Texas. The Rangers have acquired the left-handed flamethrower pitcher from the Royals, Aroldis Chapman. The Rangers send over one of the pitchers, Cole Ragens, as well as a rookie ball outfielder, Rony Cabrera, both heading to Kansas City. It's a great move for Texas. They have been one of the surprising, just elite teams this year, and their bullpen. You can never have enough pitchers, and they know that. Everyone knows that, and they went out and got one of the better lefties very early. To be honest, you'd expect Chapman. Like we all knew Chapman was going to be traded at some point, but I was definitely expecting it to be more closer to the trade deadline. But the Rangers wanted him, and the Rangers went out and got him. And he has been really well for Kansas City. On one of the worst teams, he's still being able to collect saves, get clean innings, and everything. But now, he's already played a couple games with the Rangers already. He looks great, We know his ending of the days with the Yankees era were a little bit shaky, and we know how he does in clutch moments in Yankees playoff series. He's given up a couple of very important home runs to guys like Jose Altuve and Mike Brosseau. But at the end of the day, Roller Chapman has been one of the elite arms for the decade. Ever since he made his debut with the Reds. Roller Chapman will go down as one of the greatest baseball pitchers, relievers wise. And he's just going to continue his career with Texas. I think it's a great move. Not much more to say on that. Now let's talk about the home run derby. Yes, we have a couple more people who have thrown their names into the ring. We knew about Julio Rodriguez and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We have added four more names to the list. The ballot: Randy Arozarena from your Tampa Bay Rays. Mookie Betts, surprise, surprise. You've yet to see him in a derby. He's in this one. One of the best, Pete Alonso, looking for his third home run derby title. He is back for his fourth ever derby. And then Baltimore's rookie catcher, Adley Rutschman, has also joined the pack. So that has brought our total up to 6. We have 2 more slots left, and I thought it'd be a fun idea to quickly go through each team and quickly name a player that I'd like to see in the Derby. Obviously, not including the 6 teams who already have a participant. So I'll just run through a couple guys quickly and then pick kind of the 2 that I really hope do get it. Starting with the Red Sox, I thought Masataka Yoshida should be a fun watch there. A little Japanese competition there. Always good for some culture stuff, and I think Yoshida's had a great season with the Red Sox. For the Yankees, with Judge is injured, let's go with Stanton. Do we remember him, his crazy home run season 2017? He's won a derby before, so good stuff there. For the Tigers, I guess Javier Baez makes the most sense. Not really anyone else who you'd want to watch there. The Twins, Byron Buxton, Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals. The White Sox, Luis Robert Jr. I think that's a fun one. He's been having a really nice season. And then for the Guardians, Josh Naylor, he puts a drive into them all. Oakland, there's really only one pick, and that's Brent Rooker. For the Angels, obviously you can go with the easy options like Trout and Ohtani, but I think it'd be fun to watch Hunter Renfroe. This guy's been a power bat for a long time, and he crushes some home runs. The Rangers, it only makes sense for Adolis Garcia to be in it. For the Astros, Jordan Alvarez is great, but I would love to watch Alex Bregman at another shot at a derby there. Moving on to the NL side, Austin Riley is one of my favorite players, so I would love to see him in the derby. Nicholas Castellanos for the Phillies, that's a really fun one. I love watching Castellanos take a swing at it. Jazz Chisholm for the Marlins, but obviously he just got injured. For the Nationals, let's just say Lane Thomas, because that's the name that I know and who hits home runs so often. But, the Nationals are not going to have a player there. For the Reds, there's only one guy who should be, and it should be Ellie De La Cruz. And I really hope he does get a spot. I would love to watch Ellie hit some home runs in Seattle. For the Pirates, I like Jack Sawinski. He's had a great season for the Pirates, and he has plenty of home runs. So I would love to see him get in there. The Cubs, Christopher Morel, there's a guy. Yeah, absolutely. Christopher Morel could have a fun time there. For the Brewers, Rowdy Tellez. Love me some Rowdy Tellez. Would love to see him in the Derby. Cardinals will go with Nolan Arenado, because why not? Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. He's electric. He's a fun watch, and he can crush them a little bit. The Rockies, CJ Crone, home run bat for sure. One of the best for the Rockies there. The Padres will go with Juan Soto. I think, last year's winner. I think he should find his way back into the Derby. And then Mike Yastrzemski for the Giants, I think would be a fun watch as well. In terms of which two do I think, or who I would want to take those last two spots, obviously Soto makes the most sense just because he is the reigning champion. Give him the chance to defend it, just like Alonso's been able to do for, 2 seasons, and then he lost last year. So, it'll be his fourth Derby. But, there's that part of me that, wants to see just someone new, someone different. And then there's that part of me that loves the idea of, the storylines and the, revenge titles and can he defend and blah, 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 blah. But let's say it won't be Soto. I would love to see Nicholas Castellanos, Austin Riley, or Rowdy Tellez. Those would be my 3 picks. I think Rowdy Tellez is probably the furthest shot out from it. I think Austin Riley and Nicholas Castellanos would be great picks. Do I think they're going to get it? Probably not. Let's be honest. It's always sometimes, you don't know. Mookie Betts and Ali Rutschman are kind of surprising to me. But I'm more than welcome to the surprise. I cannot wait to watch them both. Always a big fan of the Home Run Derby. So, just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So we got 4 new guys, 2 more left, and the Derby is a week away. So which 2 plays will fill out those spots? We'll probably have those answers for you guys on Friday. And now we'll talk about the actual All-Star game. MLB has released the reserves and the pitchers for all the teams, and we'll go over those really quickly. To start, let's talk about some of the teams with the most All-Stars, and that would be the Braves. They have 8 of the NL's 32. So very good stuff for the Braves. Leading it on the AL side is the Rangers with 6. Followed up by the Blue Jays and the Oilers, who each have 4 on the AL side. And if we go back to the NL, after the Braves 8, the Dodgers have 5, and then the D-backs and the Cubs, surprise, surprise, have 3. Now let's get this out of the way first. We know that the MLB All-Star Game is a little bit controversial on who gets in. The starters are by votes. And every team has one All-Star, even if they don't deserve it. We'll talk about that. Sorry, Detroit, and sorry, Lorenzen. But that's just the way it works. I'm not going to be here to talk about, this player didn't get in, this player didn't get in, blah, 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 blah. It's the way it is. I'm just going to talk about who we're going to be watching in the All-Star game next week. So, obviously, for the AL, we'll start there. We know the starters. Jonah Heim as a catcher, Yanni Diaz, first baseman, Marcus Semien, second baseman, Josh Jung, third, Corey Seager at short. Your outfielders consist of Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, and Randy Arozarena, and your DH is Shohei Ohtani. One thing also to note is I know that some players are injured, like Judge, and most likely will be replaced before next week's game. We'll talk about any switches that happen, but for now, we're just going off of what is presented to us now, what I have to go off of now. So, looking at the reserves for the AL, for the catchers, they brought along Salvador Perez from the Royals and Adley Rutschman from Baltimore. The infield is cluttered with Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Whit Merrifield, and Bo Bichette all find their way in, as well as Jose Ramirez from the Guardians. The outfielders, Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox, Austin Hayes from Baltimore, that's a fun one, Yordan Alvarez from the Astros, and Adolis Garcia from the Rangers, and the reserve DH, Brent Rooker from the Athletics. As we mentioned, all teams need one All-Star, and Brent Rooker would definitely be it for the A's. I think that's not the question. I think he's more than deserving. But yes, obviously, when you look at the American League as a whole, is there more deserving DHs? Yeah. Sorry, Brent Rooker, but you know what? You're on the A's. Be thankful that you're an All-Star. Let's say that. For the American League pitchers, we'll show with Shohei Ohtani because obviously he's going to do both in the game because why wouldn't he? He's the unicorn. Joining him, Garrett Cole from the Yankees. The Mariners only have one representative, even though they're hosting, Luis Castillo. The Twins have Sonny Gray. The Rangers with Nathaniel Eovaldi. The Blue Jays get Kevin Gausman. Shane McClanahan from the Rays, Framber Valdez from the Astros, Kenley Jansen from the Red Sox, Emmanuel Clase from the Guardians, Felix Bautista and Yernier Cano from the Oilers, and lastly, we have Michael Lorenzen, who is definitely, no offense to him, because I do like Michael Lorenzen, but let's be honest, not an all-star. You look at his numbers, he is not an all-star. Those numbers do not define an all-star. It's a little upsetting, and especially because you look at the Tigers, right? Do they have a player who is a clear all-star? No. They're one of the worst teams in the AL trash division. It's just the way it works. But could there have been a better possible player than Michael Lorenzen on the Tigers? Probably. We know Eduardo Rodriguez, he was dominant month of April, but he's been hurt. He's missed the last month. He doesn't have enough innings now to be eligible. I still think it should be Erod. I believe he's coming off the IL on Wednesday, actually, and pitching that day, which means he would be fine to pitch on the Tuesday after, on the All-Star break. Usually the way it works is when a team is bad and they need a representative, you go kind of see their best bullpen pitcher. And let's be honest, Alex Lang for Detroit has actually been not too bad. In 35 games, he's 5-2 record. He's got an ERA just under 4. A couple saves there. You can't be upset about that. Like it should have been Lang. It should have been Erod. Do I like Lorenzen? Yes. Am I excited for him? Sure. Does he deserve it? No. That's the way it works, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing. But yeah. But those are your AL All-Stars, your 32 guys there. They will be managed by Dusty Baker, obviously the World Series winner Astros manager of last year. Flipping the script for the NL side, we obviously knew the starters, but we'll go over them anyways once more. Sean Murphy is your catcher. Freddie Freeman is at first. Luis Arias at second. Nolan Arenado at third. Orlando Arcia at short. Your outfielders consist of Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Corbin Carroll, and then your DH is JD Martinez. Looking at the NL's reserves, for catchers, we have Will Smith of the Dodgers and Elias Diaz of the Rockies. Not a bad pick there. Your infielders, it's the Braves. Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley all find a way there. Dansby Swanson, former Brave, now Cub, gets to reunite with them. I think that's really fun. And then Pete Alonso also joins the reserves there with the Mets. For the outfielders, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., love that. Nicholas Castellanos, love that. Juan Soto, those are your outfielders for the reserves there. For a DH, Jorge Soler from the Marlins. That's a very interesting one. Like that one too. And then when we look at the pitchers, we have Zach Gallen from the Diamondbacks. Obviously, Spencer Strider from the Braves. Obviously, Bryce Elder from the Braves. Justin Steele from the Cubs. Marcus Stroman from the Cubs. Mitch Keller from the Pirates. Josiah Gray from the Nats. Clayton Kershaw with the Dodgers, Alexis Diaz with the Reds, Josh Hader with the Padres, Devin Williams with the Brewers, and then Camilo Doval with the Giants. Love the pitchers, all very good, very elite. Even the guys like Mitch Keller and Josiah Gray, on teams that aren't too great, they've both had really good seasons. They've kind of put it together. Are there better pitchers than them who aren't in the All-Star game? Yes, but hey, Josiah Gray has been one of the best Nationals. Mitch Keller has been one of the best Pirates. It makes sense. You stick with it. All in all, I don't think this is bad. I'm excited. I'm really happy for these 64 individuals. That NL team will be managed by Rob Thompson for the Phillies. The NL best team last year. The guys that I'm most excited for, I think Nicholas Castellanos, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Austin Hayes. They have had sneaky good seasons. I'm very happy for all those three outfielders. Best stuff for them. Most surprising, obviously Lorenzen. I think Whit Merrifield getting in there is interesting. He's had a low-key good season, but I am surprised that he is going to be part of the AL reserves there. But yeah, there's not too much, and we know there will be more because we know some of these guys are injured. We know Shane McClanahan, he just got injured actually. Shane McClanahan is on the IL, 15 days, some mid-back tightness, so he won't be they'll have to replace him. A couple of these guys are day to day. Judge is going to be out. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting who else joins the All-Star game. But we'll get notified of that as they come. But yeah, a couple injuries will have to do it. But that is our All-Star rosters. Yeah, really excited. We'll get to watch that game next week. I still don't know what I'm going to do for that. I think I'm going to have an episode Wednesday to go over the Derby and the game. But we'll stay tuned for that. And yeah, we'll continue now with our outstanding performances. So starting off, we have Justin Steele, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. James Paxton continues to have a really good month, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Josiah Gray, all-star, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. Obviously, Steele also an all-star. Tommy Henry with the Diamondbacks, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Ryan Nelson also with the D-backs, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Bailey Ober with your Twins, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks. Corbin Burns, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Kyle Bradish, despite the loss, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Nathaniel Eovaldi, all-star, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Justin Verlander, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Tanner Beebe, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. And lastly, Sonny Gray, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Running a bit longer than usual here, so let's have a quicker standings check. AL East remains the same. Rays, Orioles, Yankees, Jays, Red Sox. Central stays the same. Twins, Guardians, Tigers, White Sox, Royals. Twins not above 500. They're 42 and 43. Boston above 500. They're 43 and 42. Is it pathetic? Yes. The West, the Rangers, after losing 3 or 4 to the Astros, are now only 3 games up above the Astros, who are in second. Angels behind them, and the Mariners, 2 games below 500. They're still pretty far away as well. And then Oakland is even further, 23 and 63, negative 237 run differential. Oakland is a bad. The Braves. They have been phenomenal as of late. They're 9-1 in their last 10 again. They're on an 8-game winning streak, and they just continue to get better and better. Their lead now is 9 games ahead of the second place Miami Marlins, who, yes, they are still in second. Phillies in third and Mets in fourth. Nats in fifth. The NL Central, things are getting interesting here. The Pirates kind of getting back down and, averaging up a little bit. They're still in third at 39 and 44. The Brewers are in first at 46 and 39, half a game above the Reds, who are 45 and 39. The Brewers have played an extra game. That's why they've won that. Still, the only team with a positive run differential in that division is the Cubs, who are in fourth place at a 38 and 45 record. They have a plus 22 run differential. It's always interesting there. And in the NL West, Diamondbacks still in first, 3 games above the Dodgers and 3.5 games above the Giants. And then you have that big gap between the Giants and the Padres. The Giants are 46 and 38. The Padres are 38 and 46. That is still crazy to me. It's just those are the standings. You look at the wild card quickly. The Baltimore Astros and Yankees are in the 3 spots there. And for the NL, it's still Miami, Dodgers, and Giants. The Reds a game back out of that. Phillies a game and a half, and the Pirates 6.5. If you look at the AL, the Jays are a game and a half back of the Yankees. Angels 2 games. Boston 3.5. Guardians 4.5. Seattle 5. So it's much more top heavy there. But yeah, that will do it for the standings check. A little quick one there. That will take us to our upcoming series, and we're going to dive into those really quickly here. Starting off with Baltimore at Yankees. That's a very fun matchup, an AL East clash for sure. The Rangers, they're 10 and 15 in their last 25. They're going up against Boston, the worst team in the AL East, but still a very good team nonetheless. The Phillies at the Rays, another fun series there. Blue Jays are heading to Chicago, taking on the White Sox. Royals at Twins. Braves at Guardians. That's an interesting one there. A's at Tigers in a series that really no one will watch. Rockies and Astros. Reds at Nationals. The Reds continue to get some easy teams here. Cardinals at Marlins. That's very interesting. The Cardinals should be good and are bad. The Marlins shouldn't be as good as they are, and yet here we are. Cubs at Brewers, an interesting one there, if the Cubs can get some games there. Angels at Padres is a very interesting one as well. Mariners at Giants, it's a fun one. Mets at D-backs, that one is going to be a good watch. And lastly, the Pirates and the Dodgers. The takeaway, a good week of baseball coming up. We've got a great series. Most of those series were actually very exciting. I'm very excited to dig into our Friday episode, which should also be our July Player of the Month episode. So let me just say this, next episode will probably be a long one. We've been kind of expanding to the 40-minute, 45-minute mark in these episodes. Definitely been taking my time with some of the news, with some of the things that are being said, and going into more detail about certain things. So I've enjoyed it though, so I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon, but we'll see. Maybe we'll go back to more of the 25, 30-minute episodes, the occasional 35 and such. But that will do it for our episode today. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you liked what you hear, feel free to subscribe, follow the podcast, like the video, comment, do all that stuff. It helps me out a ton. It shows me that, this is actually something that is a lot of fun for some people, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. And I will see you guys for Friday for what should be our July Player of the Month episode. We've got 2 series left before the All-Star break. Baseball, I love it.